Hello and welcome back. The stream went out for a bit, but we're back now. What have you missed? You've missed Alessandro Quinte getting provisional pole with 1.5 minutes on the clock. People are now starting their final laps. Quinte actually now on the grass currently, letting people by. Okay, nothing too bad there. But both all the top drivers currently on their outlap, except I think Ivan Leonov, who's currently third. Great lap by him, but I think he is done for unless he's gonna do another lap after his hot lap again.
Yeah, and also Ivan Leonov actually has a 10-place grid penalty from that he received last round. So even if he stays P3, they will actually be starting P13 in the race, and he will have to start on tyres that he used.
Yeah.
So,
because of the new rule change, if you're starting outside the top 10, you can choose what tire you start with. But if you qualify P3 and then get demoted to P13, like he would in this case, as it stands right now, then you still need to start on the tire you qualified on. So that's a bit of a shame for him. But then again, if you qualify P3, it's always got to be feel good.
yeah, that's true. That's interesting that he didn't decide to go for maybe an alternate strategy, but I guess with refueling it might not really do have much of an effect. So
interesting. Sven de Vries just did a lap, slow, really slow, 140.5, and now he's going for a actual hot lap, which is what you said. Like go out, do one lap, and then actually push hard, warm up those tires, and push. So he's doing that.
Yeah, that's interesting to see. I guess if he'd gone for a full flying lap, his tyres might be a little bit too worn by his second lap. Mainly as turn 8, obviously, grabs a lot of the tyres, so
yeah,
clearly he's put some thought into that, and yeah, just gone for a slow lap to warm everything up, get into it, and go all out. So started off, it's a decent sector 1 for him, but Quintai actually has gone purple in sector 1 on his lap. It's his first lap. He's actually just behind Sven on track, so maybe looking to get a little bit of that slipstream down the straight.
I think it's too far, but he's very close indeed. Very good sector 1, 1.5 tenths faster. Sven de Vries also not improving in a sector 2, but neither is Quinte. So it's all gonna be on that final sector. Sven needs to win 1/10, at least 1/10, in order to get pole. Let's see if he's able to do it.
Yeah, Pedro Gomez just crossed the line. He got purple sector 3, but he's still P10 overall.
Sven de Vries doesn't do it. 28.3. Quinte does improve to another 0.2. Let's see what everyone else can do. Frank Hemming got himself into P4 quite a while ago. He's currently in the pits. Janis Wolborn just finished his hot lap with a 28.5, but didn't improve. And I think that's everyone done. Yeah, Lorenzo the Cute is last one to cross the line. That's everyone done. So pole again, third time in a row by Alessandro Quinte. Sven de Vries again on his tail, and again not able to get a pole position. But he's really, really close. And I expected it to be even closer than it is now. Can we just say it's actually, never mind, it's 20 guys in 1 second of each other.
Yeah, that is a very tight grid. See at Bahrain as well, it was quite tight, and the top two, yeah, they were covered by half a tenth there, just over that here, but still very close. And I guess we can expect them two to be close in the race, just like they were in Bahrain. And just like Bahrain, you've got Leonov and Hamming right behind him. Although obviously Leonov will be starting from further back than that.
An unfortunate qualifying session maybe for Leon Buck, who's currently fourth in the standings. Maybe would have wanted a bit better. Same for David Junt, who's on P15. But those gaps are just, they don't exist. I mean, between 11 and 15. Okay, there's actually 3 tenths in between there. Maybe that's not a good example. But the rest is very close. If you look at, for example, PA and P9, there's 2 thousandths between them. If you look at P5 and P6, they have the exact same time. I didn't even notice that. Janis Wolborn and Kasper Michalak have the exact same time. 28.491. 6 thousandths in front of them, Frank Hemming. And then 17 thousandths in front of them is even Leonov. That's how close it is.
Yeah, clearly we've got a very evenly matched grid here. Maybe the top two, obviously about a 2/10 gap between them and the rest, but overall everyone is very tight and should make for a good battle during the race.
Yep, and as we are looking at the penalties, Philip Koenig has a 20-slot grid penalty. Lorenzo de Cutis has okay, he doesn't have anything for this race. My apologies. And Ivan Leonov, obviously, 10-slot grid penalty as well. So he's going to be demoted to P13. Going to have to start on those soft tires. And it's going to be interesting to see what everyone's going to do based on strategy. See if you're, for example, Leon Bach qualifying P11. You could start on those hard tires, but you could also start on those soft tires. So it's going to be interesting to see, what decision they're going to make and when they're pitting, because I expect, for example, Opacini to go real long again like he is used to, and maybe the same for Alessandro Quinte, because they've been known to do that, and they've been known to be really good on the tire wear. But is it smart? That's the question.
It depends what they could do, because tyre wear here is going to be very high, especially on that front right. He's got turn 8, a very long left-hander, very
Yes.
fast. So it depends whether they put the practice in to keep that alive. You just need to keep it not too hot, and just make sure it can last for the race. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they can do strategy-wise. Don't know if this is the track to try and go for an overcut on the softs, but we were surprised by it in Bahrain, so maybe they'll try it again.
I think personally that the undercut is going to be really strong here. But we need to see, because in Bahrain it did obviously work. I think it's even easier to pass here than in Bahrain. Um, Probably doesn't seem like if you look at the track layout, but it's very easy to follow here regardless. And I think we're going to see a lot of DRS trains, just like we saw in Bahrain. Last year's races here in Istanbul Park were also very close in the race, big DRS trains. And you don't really want to be first in those cases, because you're just going to be, giving everyone a nice toe and a nice slipstream. And that's the same thing. Sorry, I mean DRS. Which is not what you want. So it's gonna be interesting also to see what the leaders are gonna do, if they want to exchange the lead, or if someone is trying to pull away. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting to look forward to, as currently the drivers are doing their last race runs before race laps before the race actually begins. Get a last feeling for that, as we are going for a little break. In 5 minutes, we'll be back for the race 1 of Supercup. Welcome back to Istanbul Park here, as we are just in the closing seconds, well, 60 seconds, 1 minute of the warm-up session here. People still doing their race runs, doing the final few laps, get a feeling for the car, as in a minute or so, we are going to be heading to the grid for the start of the formation lap of race 1. It's going to be a very interesting one. I'm very excited to see what strategies are going to be played out. I think a lot of places are to be gained here in terms of strategy. So I don't think pure pace in the race is going to be the most important, but I think we're going to have a real crack of a race here.
Yeah, I think so too. It's interestingly, Pedro Gomez is topping the session. He's starting P9 on the grid, so maybe got a better race pace, or maybe the others just aren't showing it. Quintai hasn't set any lap times yet, so clearly he's confident in himself.
Doesn't need it. Doesn't need
Yeah,
those race runs.
exactly. Too good. But Gomez, Bahrain, he kind of got caught out. He didn't really have long enough gear ratios to be able to attack, so
yeah,
hopefully he's sorted that for this round, and starting P9 could look to get up the grid.
Yeah, very good driver, ex-Super League driver. We have also Miko Gauka, who was a driver for, if I remember correctly, Matt Cape in 2017 Super League. So we have some Super League blood on this grid. It's gonna be very interesting to see what they can do.
Yeah, and obviously we've got the brothers still of the Super League drivers, Mateo Kiersmakers, Leon Bock.
Yeah,
So we'll see if they can have a nice battle like they did in Bahrain.
yeah, that would be nice. And David John starting far up, he's able to choose his tires, and he did really, really well in both races. Scored some very solid points, as he's known to do, and he's currently very high up in the standings. If I remember correctly, he's third.
Yes, he is currently third, just 1 point off Frank Hammond in P2.
And only 9 of Sven, so anything's possible there. So we are about to head up into the race here. Just a quick explanation of how it works. The first race is going to be 29 laps, and people need to take a pit stop and use 2 tire compounds. There's only 2 tire compounds here. They need to use both of them in the race. And then we have race 2, where you can do whatever you want. You can start on whatever tire you want. 19 laps, it's a sprint race, and you don't have to pit, but you can pit if you want. I don't expect people to do a pit stop, but who knows? It's Turkey, and people may be, getting those that wear in through turn 8, especially, and maybe do a double pit stop. But I highly doubt it, because I think the medium tire will last long enough. Or is it the hard tire? The harder one of the two.
Yeah, I can't remember all the names for all the different series, but
Let's just call it soft and hard. I think that's what it's
Yeah.
called anyway. Will make sense.
yeah.
All right, getting onto the grid here. People always waiting till the very last second. So some exceptions here. 29 drivers on the grid, so we're missing 1 driver. I'm not sure who that is, but I guess we'll eventually find out.
Yeah, I'm not too sure myself. Just trying to run through what teams could be missing one, but
You find that out. I'll talk here. I'll keep everyone busy.
nice.
So 20 seconds to go. Let's see what tires people are starting on. Obviously, the entire top 10, except for Leon Bach, because he got promoted from P11. Starting on the softs. Menno Klont also on the soft tires. Witkowski, Academy graduate, starting on the hard tires. So is David Junt, Tom Vandervoort, Mikael Gauka, George Whitehouse, Liam Rens are all starting on the soft tire. Leon Bach, interestingly, also on the soft tire. Sorry, the hard tire. Soft in my head is green, yellow. So I'm very confused at that. But let's run through the grid here. Alessandro Quinte is on pole, and for me, he has the hard tire on, but I think that's a visual glitch. Yeah, it is a visual glitch. Sven de Vries in P2, very good qualifying, but just not able to get that pole once again. Frank Hemming, P3, promoted from P4 because of Ivan Ivanov's penalty. Jannis Walborn, consistent as always, up there in P4. Kasper Michalak, pretty sure that's the best qualifying of the season for him. Great job by him. Damian Cardas, same goes for him, but he's only had a sample size of 1. Adriano Pacini in P7, always the one to go long in those races, especially race 1 going very long on those softs and pitting as late as possible. Alexander Rogoza 8, Pedro Gomez 9. Very interesting to see what he can do. Hopefully he has longer gear ratios this time. It's P10, Leon Bach, actually on the soft tire. That was a visual glitch, so no hard tires for Leon Bach. Matteo Kersmakers P11, Menno Klont P12, even Leonov P13. Patrick Witkowski, first guy to go on the hard tires. David Junt, also Tom Vennevoort P16. Nigel Marshall P17, always fighting for points. Matthias Drabowski P18, Miko Gelka P19. Maybe slightly disappointing, but we know he can definitely fight up back to the point scoring positions in the race. George Whitehouse, rather disappointing, I'd say. He's always up there, and at least the top 10. Currently P20. P21 for Liam Rentz, sorry. 22, Paweł Andrzejewski. 23, Bastian Peisler. Not someone we talked about so far. Also coming in instead of Rodrigo Carvalho, if I say it's right, for Razor. Mihailo Vicentovic. Oh, what happened there?
So there's been a crash between Kutis and Ben Willis behind. Don't know what happened there.
Oh no, you don't want that. Is that a lag?
No, it looks like Takutis just got caught out by the cars slowing in front, and
don't text and drive.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
It's not disastrous. I mean, it kind of is, but
no, I suppose when they're already near the back, it's not going to affect them too much. But obviously, it's not quite what you want in preparation for a race to crash into someone. So
yeah, that's not optimal. All right, let's finish our rundown. With 24 was Mihailo Vicentovic. P25 was Lorenzo de Cutis with behind Ben Willis, but that's now both in the pits. Mark Fuller P27, Philip Koenig P28, and Milan Rajkovic filling the grid on P29.
Yeah, also I was able to find out it was the second Rowan GP car that's missing of Jacob Kowalski. So it's only Nigel Marshall for them today.
And as here are the lights. 4 lights already on, 5 lights already on. Let's see if Alessandro Quinte can get a good start, and lights are off. And Sven de Vries has a very good start. Can he go around the outside on turn 1? There's a slight wheel bang moment. He's still on the outside, but he's not going to keep it there. Alessandro Quinte coming through the first corner as first, and there's a crash in the back there. Unfortunately, who's that out?
I believe that is Nigel Marshall, the only Rome GP that we were just talking about.
And Vicentovic as well. Unfortunate for him. Yeah. Spun out. Do they have damage? Is the question here. It doesn't seem like much, at least. So that's...
Yeah, Liam Rance as well. He's got no front wing.
Very unfortunate here. Seems like the top 8, except for Damien Cardos, is falling back a bit. Started P6, now in P8. Looking down the inside of turn 8. Well, that's a very hard move to make. So not gonna think better of it. Unfortunately, not the best start for him, but anything can happen. It's a long race, 29 laps. So probably better to give up a few positions at the start.
Yeah. Quintai has already seemingly got out a pretty good gap. What's that about? See, just as across the sector there, almost a second already after the first lap. Obviously, no DRS at the moment, but if he can break out the second before lap 3, then that'll help him a lot. Yannis Fulton, sure. P4 seems to have pretty low wings, catching up to Frank Hammond there, so it's help him later on.
Liam Bucker on the outside of Damien Cardos. A slight wheel banging here, and Cardos stays in front, but Liam Buck looking very fighty at the early stages of this race.
Yeah, obviously potentially a little bit further back in qualifying than he would have liked, and maybe what he can do. So I think he'll be looking to make his way up the grid quite quickly to fight with the front. Yep,
as currently Liam Rance in the pits. He's the only guy that seems to have real big damage and has to pay for a new front wing, so unfortunate for him. Probably looking for damage control here, get a good maybe P24 in or something, get a few positions more so he can start higher up in the second race.
Yeah, any position can help. Obviously if he's further up the front, he potentially has a higher chance of avoiding these accidents in race 2, and potentially going on for points. So yeah, it's always worth it to finish the race if you can, and just get as high up as you can.
Yeah, it's not worth it to press escape, as Frank Hemming had a big moment coming out of turn 9, turn 10 rather actually. bike, kept it under control, as DRS will activate the next lap, and it seems like Sven de Vries is just not in the DRS range of Alessandro Quinte, so he needs to fight a little bit more to get back into that range. It's 1.0 exactly right now, so let's see what the gap is over start finish. Well, Cardos actually, P7, Cardos making a move on Ragosa, and he seems to have done it. Can Ragosa now get the switchback, get a little slipstream?
Let's be allowing Liam Bock alongside Ragosa, and Ragosa maybe losing 2 positions.
Oh,
A
the
bit
touch!
of contact at turn 1, but they come through cleanly, and Ragosa keeps hold to P8, so loses 1 position, but could have been worse.
How no one spun there is a mystery. That looked like maybe even 2 spins, but they both make it out alive. And Liam Bock loses 1 position, is that correct?
I believe he was P9 anyway.
Okay. So he tried to move that and didn't work out. So
it was,
Ragosa
quite
just not missing out on two positions then, that's it.
So quite opportunistic from Bock, so clearly that does show that he is maybe looking to get up quite quick, so as long as he stays in the DRS he's still got another chance as well, potentially.
Just looking at the onboard of Pedro Gomez, and there's coming a lot of smoke out of the tires of Damien Cardos through turn 8. So hopefully he's not ruining his tires too much here, as he's probably trying to catch up to the guys in front of him, as they all have a big DRS train going from Sven de Vries to Adriano Piccini.
Yeah, Vauban, he's getting very close to Hamming there, he's going for a move up the inside, locks up a lot, almost losing control of the car. He's made it stick, a little bit of contact. So goes to the other side again, corner, a bit more contact. Hamming somehow keeps in front. It's quite messy, but it's allowed Michalak alongside. Doesn't seem to have the straight line speed there. Ooh.
Oh no! They crash out!
Was,
Frank Hemming escapes without any damage, it seems like, but Opacini is the victim here.
Yeah,
oh no.
Like Opacini maybe just outbraked himself, went into the back of the car, and Vauban's now lost his front wing, so is Opacini. It's not great for them. Oh, and there's more contact behind
Michalak.
That was not great from the guys there. Hamming, like I say, got very lucky not to get involved with that, but it has spread out the top 3 quite a bit.
Yep, now there's no one in the top 3 with DRS. The first guy with DRS is on P5, it's Cardos. He's taking advantage of those, as we said, he lost those positions early on in the race, but look where he is now. From P6 to P8 and now back to P5 after all those incidents. So it's worked out beautifully for him. As back at the field, Pedro Andrzejewski in P19 going across the escape road. Well, not really the escape road, but the green stuff in turn 8. As there is a big train there for position 14 after Opacini. And now I think Bastian Paisler is going to try and make a move on George Whitehouse.
Yeah, again, you want to be very careful of the bump there at that kink, because if you've got DRS open it can throw the car a bit. Going side by side into the hairpin, but Whitehouse, yeah, you brake just late enough there to block it off.
Gauka now on the outside of George Whitehouse, and Bastian Paisler, and he seems to get it. Let's see now if Bastian Paisler has the top speed here and the acceleration to get it back, but this is not a nice line you want to have. Seems like they have equal top speed. And brakes very late though, goes around the outside, and Gauka sticks it. It gives him enough room, so he comes back. A nice little battle here. Now it's Bastian Paisler who has the advantage, because you want to be outside on this corner, because the next turn is going to the right, and there you go, Bastian Paisler gets that position.
Yeah, that was very respectful racing between them two. Gauka leaving enough room at turn 1 to let him come through cleanly. And this might work for him anyway, because he's on the harder tyres, so he doesn't necessarily need to be battling too hard. So this might still allow him to keep him in DRS and just keep on the back of him to get him later in the race.
Yep, it's 2 very experienced drivers, so they probably know they can trust each other. As I just was looking on board at Patrick Witkowski, he's on the on the hard tires. It's gonna get a long time to get used to those, the yellow not being the softs, but
yeah.
he was a true turn 8 behind Menno Klont, and it was really hard. He had so much dirty air. You really don't want to push behind someone in turn 8, or at least take a different line, because otherwise the dirty air is just insane.
It is, yeah. You need to pretty much limit. Oh, Tom van der Voort actually is managed to almost go for a nice little move there on the switchback, but not quite enough grip around the outside of him there. No one behind seemingly able to take advantage of that. But yeah, turn 8, you're on the limit of grip for these cars. So yeah, if you're in dirty air, if you push too hard, then you'll either kill the tyres or you can spin. So yeah, it's smart just to back off a little bit and keep the car in a straight line.
Yep, absolutely. Yes, I think there's a battle brewing up. Oh, big moment from Alexander Ragosa. He almost spins it. I was gonna talk about him. That was almost the instant cost curse, but he survives. I was gonna say there's a battle brewing up for P4 as Cardos looking fighty against Ragosa, and Ragosa pushing so hard he made quite a big mistake, but it didn't cost him much time. It almost cost him his race though, but.
Yeah, he almost got so good at commentator's curse that you can you can do it after he's had the incident.
Yeah. Maybe it's a special power.
Yeah, just you.
Cardos now has DRS. Let's see how this toe plus DRS combination, how strong this is. Don't think he's gonna go for a move here, but let's see how close he can go. He's just coming so close already. He was so far back, and he's actually trying a move here, but he's too far back. But look at how strong that toe plus DRS was. I think he must have been at least half a second away, and he just got up to his ass without any problem.
Yeah, and the guys behind actually closing quite a lot as well with that Leon Bock. Again, he was quite far back, but he just got DRS and was able to close in a lot. So, yeah, it's seemingly very powerful here. And Ragosa, he's got to be getting that gap again throughout the lap to try and avoid that next time around.
Yep, looks like the top two are in pace of their own. They're flying away from Frank Hemming in P3. Currently the gap is 3 seconds between Sven on P2 and then Frank Hemming on P3. So unless their tires start dropping off and they're pushing too hard right now, because I think Sven's pushing to get back into that DRS range, as someone who's pushing is definitely Ragosa. He is drifting every corner, trying to keep up the pace, but Cardos is breathing down his neck. Look at the tire just smoking in turn 8. There's a little bit of a lag moment for Ragosa. Oh, he lagged back into P6.
Drop back to position. Very lucky that, because that can cause a few crashes with the car reappearing inside someone. But lucky that didn't happen this time. But it's unfortunate for Ragosa. He did well to hold him off the previous lap, and all that work is just undone.
And now he has this toe on Leon Bock. He's gonna get the position right back again. He's gonna make this move stick. Oh, Leon Bock sticking it on the outside. Oh, and a touch. Leon Bock losing it on the power, but he's still on the outside. No big harm is done, and now he has to give up this position. But that is an interesting way to let people by, Josh. Just lag out and then slot right back in.
Yeah, like I say, it can end up with some unintended consequences though. If you end up inside another car, that's never good.
What happened the last race in Bahrain, did it? I can't remember who.
I don't... yeah, I'm not too sure. You know.
Pretty sure it happened at least. But it's good to see it didn't happen once again. So, Ragosa actually getting his position back immediately. Maybe he wanted some overtaking action. Getting right back. He was like, I'm gonna let this guy pass, and then I'm just gonna overtake him, because it's boring.
Getting a bit bored being at the front of the train. But I don't think he'll be too happy with that, because Cardos has actually pulled away from him quite a bit for all of this. Ragosa seems to be pushing those tyres a bit too hard and smoking every single corner, and that's not going to be good for him, and he's going to be losing a lot of grip if he carries on doing that.
Yeah, I'm calling it. Ragosa's going to be one of the... Oh, there's a crash somewhere. I heard some nice battle noises, like Airfactor does perfectly. It's Liam Renz once again. He crashed out of the last turn, was already in last, and this is a retirement from Liam Renz. Did he spun out on his own? Yes, he did.
Yeah, it seems just got on the AstroTurf a bit too much, and yeah, it can be quite slippy on there. So we were saying about how you should carry on.
Liam Bock, sorry for interrupting you. Liam Bock got past Ragosa. You go on.
There we go. Yeah, we were saying about how important it was to keeping racing on the can, but clearly, I guess, too much damage there, doing an entire lap with no front or rear wingless. Yeah, probably the smart thing to do to retire the car there.
You're also a danger to others, so probably a good decision. Because he was just past the pit straight, so worst place to crash.
Yeah, probably the most amount of distance he would have to cover as physically possible.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, be interested to see now if Leon Bock, after making that move on Ragosa, can close up to Cardas, because he seems to have looked after his tyres a little bit better than Ragosa did, so he'll be looking to pull away from him and drop that train behind him.
Well, Cardos is flying right now. His last lap, the gap is 2 seconds between him and Hemming in front. But the last lap, he gained 6 tenths on Hemming. So if he keeps doing 6 tenths faster laps, it's only going to take 3 laps until he's right up his tail. And maybe Frank is saving, but we're going to have to see.
Yeah, I think it could be good for Cardas. Yeah, last lap he was the fastest person on the track, which I'm sure will be good for him. And yeah, if he can get onto the back of Hamming, can have a good fight for P3. Looks like it might be a bit too far to gain the top 2, but if he can get on the podium for Gallery 82,
Tom Vandervoort, Patrick Witkowski, and Tom Vandervoort. Tom Vandervoort just passed Witkowski after the DRS straight. Nice clean pass, and now Tom Vandervoort is in P11, chasing up his fellow Dutchman. Well, actually, Witkowski trying to go around the outside here, doesn't brake lay enough, let him live. And yeah, Tom Vandervoort slots into P11, going after his country fellow from, Penacont.
Yeah, and George Whitehouse actually pit there. That's very early on lap 8 to do that. He's gone into another set of softs, so clearly his tyre wear wasn't good enough, and he's going to have to go through a 2-stop, which
that is interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely not the ideal strategy, but he'll try and make it work, because you just lose too much time in the pits to really get an advantage. But see if he could still get his way back into the point.
Yeah, this is a very interesting strategy. I'm just looking, did he have any damage or did anything happen to him? Because it's very early to pit lap 9, but he's obviously...
He seems to still have all his wings, at least, but maybe he had a bit of suspension damage, or it was too much for him to...
Well, that can't be fixed, so...
Yeah.
Well, some of it can, but not all, so I don't see any contact. I think it was just a conscious decision, as Ragosa is going to be passed by by Pedro Gomez, locking up, but has made the move stick here. Nice move by Gomez. As Ragosa, there you go. I was calling him the first to pit. He's not the first, but he's the second. Let's see if he's going on the hard tires or if he's going on the soft tires, just like Whitehouse.
Yeah, I think it is too early for the harder tires. Believe so. Yeah, his tyre wear didn't seem great. He is going on them and trying them out. It'll be interesting to see if he can take them to the end.
The problem is, if you would go on softs now like Whitehouse, you do another, let's say, 10 laps on the softs. Then you need to do another 10 laps on the mediums. That's nothing, basically.
Yeah, that's why it's not really the ideal strategy, and that's why I just think that maybe it's a bit too early for him. But if he was clearly that hard on his tyres, then maybe it's all he could do just to try and get a 1-stop going.
Yep, this promotes Liam Buck to P5. Pedro Gomez already made the move before he went to the pits, but he's in P6 now. Mathieu Kesmakers P7, also very consistent as he's shown in Bahrain. His teammate David Junt is currently P12, slowly making his way up there, but I'm sure he's looking for a bit more positions here. So is Miko Galka, currently P14. That's a double point finish for Gallery 82, and with Cardas on P4, they must be really happy.
Yeah, Tom Vandervoort just going around the outside, Menocont at the hairpin. Be a very good move if he can make it stick. Gets the inside for the next corner, but he's still stuck on the outside. It's not the ideal line. If you can get a good exit, you can maybe go for Reba turn 1, but the straight is a little bit too short potentially for that. Yeah, he puts his nose in, but he's not quite close enough for that. So
I can tell you, there's some rivalry going on between Tom Vandervoort and Menno Klompt, I guess. Tom Vandervoort having a little moment, but I'm sure Menno Klompt won't be letting Tom pass easily, as he's shown defending very nicely. But these are very experienced drivers, and they're gonna be driving very cleanly, but still on the limits. And they've shown it, as Menno Klompt currently in P9, doing a good job of his own.
Yep. Interestingly at the front, so Sven de Vries's dropped back quite a bit from Quintais. Gap up to 2.6 seconds now. Frank Hemming stayed about similar gap to Sven, and Kardash has been closing in lap after lap. Leon Bock, obviously, he got a gap to the train behind, but I don't think he's closing in too much on Kardash. And in the group behind, you've got Kios Maker's got DRS on Pedro Gomez, but not close enough to really go for anything there.
Ooh, Bastian Peisler just DNF'd. Ooh, what happened to him? Lagged out. Oh no.
Oh, that's a shame for him.
Bastian Peisler. Oh, that's
He was in the points when that happened, so yeah, that's unfortunate for him and unfortunate for the Razor team. Yeah, hopefully he can get back for the race 2 and still try and salvage something.
Yeah, it was in P13 and you know, replacing someone and immediately getting points, very good. So he's going to be probably very upset with that, rightfully so. Yeah, shame for him.
Yeah.
At the front, Alessandro Quinte driving away from Sven de Vries. It's 2.8 seconds now, the gap. And I think Sven should probably try an undercut here. If he pits right now, he would probably get into a pretty nice gap, actually. So either this or the next lap is when I would pit if I were Sven, because he would be getting in a very nice gap and be able to push until Alessandro pits. But if Alessandro is smart, he's also going to immediately respond to Sven pitting. So Alessandro Quinte has the better pace here, and we need to see how Sven is going to play it based on strategy. As Matteo Kersmakers going in the inside. Oh, he locks up and almost spins, half spins. Gives Pedro Gomez an opportunity to get back, and he goes into the pits. They both go into the pits, and Pedro Gomez keeps the position. Cardos going into pits, so is Gomez and Kearmakers, Liam Buck as well.
Yeah, well, that happened as well. Tom van der Voort went round the outside of Menacont at the hairpin, and then they both pit.
Wow.
Maybe it's very early for Tom to do that on the harder of the 2 tyres, because, yeah, I don't see how he's going to get the softs to the end from here, but he's going to have to try it, and he is going on to them.
Menacont taking a very aggressive position in the pit box, hoping to get Tom van der Voort driving away. He doesn't do it. Slots in behind him. As let's see at some of the people who pitted really early. Ragosa, where is he currently? He didn't even win that much positions.
No, he's still P16.
He lost some positions actually, as Tom van der Voort actually jumped him, who has 5 positions back, and that's not what he wanted. And now he has worn tires. George Whitehouse making a move on Ragosa now. Oh, they touch! And they touch again. Ragosa almost spinning. But they come out alive. Wheel banging to the max.
Wow. Yeah, that was a very hard race in there. And yeah, it's clearly Ragosa.
Oh, what is this move? Oh no.
That's a bit.
And this gives Menno the opportunity to go around the outside. Well, it's very optimistic for Menno, but he can try. And he's not going to try. He's wiser than this. And it seems like George has damage. Ragosa again drifting across turn 8. Not going to be nice for those tires. That was a very optimistic move, as Sven de Vries is now in the pits together with Quinte. So there's nothing to be gained here. Frank Hemming also in the pits. That's the entire top 3.
Yeah. Oh, did we miss Kardash? Did he pit last lap? Sorry, did I miss that?
Yes, he's on the softs right now.
Yes.
But like, I'm interested to see where he's going to come out compared to Frank Hemming, because he was catching up to him quite a bit. Is that correct? He's coming out of the pits now. It's going to be close between the two. Cardos and Frank Hemming. Who's going to come out on top? It's going to be Frank Hemming, but it's not much. And I think Paweł Andrzejowski helped a bit.
Yeah, that's yeah, the undercut works there for Cardos, but he has got a car in between.
Oh!
Wow.
That's a nice move.
A bit of contact, but that was a very nice move, and I think he had to do it because, yeah, Andrzejowski on the older, harder tyres, he would be holding Cardos up too much, and he doesn't want that. He wants to get right on the back of Hemming now and take advantage while bringing his tyres up to temperature, as Leon Bott was also looking to do the same.
And now Quinte has free air, and Sven de Vries does not. Sven de Vries losing a lot of time. Mind Gauke's not accelerating completely on purpose because he just wants the DRS and pass him easily on the straight. But this is going to cost him, I bet, more than a second, unfortunately. Makagauka making it easy for Sven.
Yeah, that's not what you would have wanted. The gap was already quite large, and yeah, that wouldn't have helped it. And he outbreaks himself into the hairpin, so
Well, big
yeah.
fight. Ivan Leonov and Tom Vandervoort going at it. Sorry, that's Philip Koenig. It's not okay. It's not even Leonov. Tom Vandervoort on the outside on the soft tires, and makes the mistake on Philip Koenig.
Yeah, and Koenig pits.
And behind him, there's also a battle. George Whitehouse and Menoclant. It seems like George Whitehouse came out on top, but he was already ahead, so it was an attacking attempt by Menoclant. Didn't work out. George Whitehouse stays ahead, and currently in P1 is David Junt. Obviously, didn't pit yet, but he's gonna have those soft tires for the last 13, 12 laps of the race, so he's gonna be having a nice little overtake race for the final few laps. Nice sprint race. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. Same for Patrick Witkowski, as they're very close to each other. But Quinte, obviously, on those fresh hards, is closing up quite fast to the two. So let's see if there's going to be an on-track overtake or if they're just going to go into the pits soon.
Yeah, just interestingly, I noticed Rogotza, he did actually make another pit stop last lap, lap 14. So he only went, 6 laps on his harder tyres, and he's just almost winning again. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be too comfortable maybe in the car at the moment. His tyre wear wasn't great in the first stint, and I don't know, maybe it's even worse on the harder tyres. He's clearly not having a fun time, and he's all the way down into P23.
He's looking fast, but doesn't look good whatsoever on the tyres. That's costing him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, only 6 laps on the hard tyres, that's definitely not what you want. Maybe there was some more issues, maybe there was a bit of damage, but like I say, you can't fix all the damage anyway, so yeah, not going well for him.
I mean, he did do that very optimistic move into turn 7. Which probably left him with some damage, but I don't know how much damage it would be. As P2 is a very interesting fight. Patrick Witkowski, well, he's not going to have to defend because he knows this is not what he's fighting. This is not his race. You probably should just let Quinte by on the straight. No hassle. But we're still going to see an overtake, very, very likely, from Quinte on Patrick Witkowski in the DRS straight. But this is giving Sven some time to catch up here. He's been 4 tenths faster the last lap, so maybe Sven has better pace on those hards.
Yep, it's down to about 2.4 seconds gap between Quinte and Sven, which was about what it was before the pits. Quinte, he's going to have DRS, but I think he would have traded clean air instead of that. And Witkowski actually has DRS as well, so it might not even be too easy to move here.
Witkowski has a lot. Oh wow, Quinte braking very late. And this gives Witkowski the chance to get back on the undercar. Is he going to the pits? Yes, he's going to the pits. That was very smart by Patrick Witkowski. Saved him some time. Quinte again making a little mistake. That last lap, let's see the difference. 31.3 for Quinte, 30.2 for Sven. 1.1 second. That's a lot of time.
It is, yeah. Sven would have loved to see that, and Quinte would have hated it. Quinte will need to be hoping that you can get into the DRS of Junt ahead of him before Sven can get into the DRS of him.
1.4 seconds, the gap.
Yeah, because if Quinte could get the DRS, then maybe he could just edge out the gap again before Sven has a chance to close in and do what he did in the first stint, but not going quite as well as he would have liked.
I'm expecting David Junt to get into the pits this lap, so I don't think Quinte has too much to worry about in this regard. As George Whitehouse did just do another pit stop, and he's going onto the hard tires right now, so 12 laps on this tire. Lorenzo the Cute is going around the outside of him. George Whitehouse, Curtis makes it a very late move, and he's gonna stick it. Alright.
And Rogotza has decided to call the race there. I just went on board with him as he spun out of turn 1.
P1. Battle for P1. I didn't think it would happen, but this is definitely in the favor of Sven de Vries. Quinte can't get past. And now David Junt pits. And now Sven will have DRS for this lap if he can keep it in 1 second.
Yeah, this will be exactly what Sven wanted. Quinte wasn't able to get past him completely. Got held up even more into that final hairpin. And yeah, Sven would like this.
Sven is going to give a €5 PayPal to David John for that one.
Definitely
that's
deserves
a
it.
big favor. He's going to love that. David John in the pits. Let's see where he comes back. Remember, he's going to be on those soft tires. I guess he's going to come back right in front of or right behind Witkowski, rather. Going to be close between the two, but yeah, he has him. Witkowski in front of Junt.
Yeah, Junt on the softer tyres. He'll be hoping to get into that top 10. Obviously more points, but also will get him in the reverse grid zone for race 2. Obviously last race, the Crossfire's got the front row lockout for race 2 because of the reverse grid.
Yeah.
Kiersmakers is currently P8, so he's also within that range. So it could be another good race 2 for them here.
Maybe interesting to explain how the reverse grid number exactly works in Formula Challenge, which was last week, also on Istanbul Park, and it was on a Tuesday, was it? I always confuse Tuesday and Thursday, but it's on a Tuesday.
It's on a Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday. They changed it. It's on Wednesday this year.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just confused. This quarantine, I don't even know what day is today. So, but in the Formula Challenge race, you have 10 to 15, and there will be a random number selected, which will be how the grid will be reversed for race 2. This is Supercup, however, and here it's 6 to 10. So the race directors are randomly grabbing a number between 6 and 10 with a random number generator, or they decide to do it. And then, if it's 9, then the first 9 will be reversed. And, sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't. And Crossfire got lucky in Bahrain. Let's see if they get lucky this time, because Matteo Kiersmakers is in P8, and he could get, if he stays here, another pole position for race 2.
Yeah, last lap as well. At the front, Sven was in the DRS still, and he's still there now, but he maybe didn't have quite the top line speed that you would have expected with that. He didn't close in too much on Quintai down the straight, so be interested to see what they could do this lap. I think he might be a little bit closer, but will it be enough? Quintai is dodging to the right to try and get him out of the slipstream as much as he can, but not really going to work. Then closing in down the straight, going up to 315 kilometers an hour, but again not quite close enough. He has to sit back for another lap. Will be frustrating him, I imagine, but Quintai's controlling it quite nicely at the moment.
Yep, it's gonna be a very close race, but Sven doesn't have to pass him just yet. He has 9 laps. He can just chill and save his tires and do a last 2-lap, 3-lap overtake. Maybe that's what he's after. Maybe he wants to overtake him now, because if you overtake him, he's gonna have DRS again. So maybe that's not the optimal thing to do. As I'm looking currently further back, Patrick Witkowski is gonna make a move on Menoclon for P10. Going around the inside, he's gonna try. He's braking late, and he hits the curb. Gives just enough space, a little bit of wheel banging. Menoclon still in front here. David Junt now going around the outside.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's gonna make that stick.
Position
for
David Junt.
He took advantage of that well. Got past Witkowski, and now he's gonna have to try and get past Menno. Maybe being a little bit of a cork in the bottle here, Menno, on the harder tyres, but he'll want to defend this position hard, like we say, to be in that top 10 and have a chance at reverse grid pole. But it will be very difficult for him to do that.
But look at the price he's paying if he defends hard. Let's say he ruins his tires. What's going to happen? He's losing 2 positions, because the gap to 13 is 20 seconds almost. So he's not losing much, as Witkowski pushing turn 8 real hard, going over the curbs on the green stuff. But what I've noticed is that Witkowski brakes very late all the time.
Yeah, I think, like you say, Menno, I mean, it's going to be difficult here down the straight. David Young with DRS, and he's already alongside at the bump. That was very... Menno,
and that could be a 2 pass there for Patrick Witkowski going down the inside. This is a great move. David Junt is still there. Slight contact between Menno and David. Menno's still there. He has the inside line. Tom Vandervoort, in the meantime, pitting, but that's not what is important right now. Switchback from David Junt. Menno squeezing him, but now you don't have the DRS, now you don't have the slipstream, now you need to rely on your all brake power. Menno making a nice little dummy, but now the inside is for David Junt on pressure tires, and there's nothing Menno can do as Tom Vandervoort just pitted. Said it wasn't important. It kind of is. He's now in the pits and going onto the soft tire. Comes out P12, quite a while behind Menno. So it's going to be interesting to see if in those last 8 laps he can catch up to him and make a move like David and Patrick Witkowski just did.
Yeah, that was very interesting. I'm sure Witkowski is happy with that. Obviously, he got a little bit played by David Yunt, making a move on him after he made a failed attempt on Menno, but he then did the
I've
same.
been played.
You have, yeah. But he managed to get his own back there. Obviously, 2 overtakes down the back straight. Very nice to see, but Yunt will be looking to close in. Obviously, now with Tom pitting, it means that David Yunt is in the top 10, even without overtake of both of them. But obviously, the more points, the better. And the higher up inside the top 10 you are, the more chance you are of getting to the front for the start of race 2. So, any move will be good for David.
Yep.
So he might not be close enough here. No, not quite.
What's also interesting to know is that Tom Vandervoort did pit already in lap 14, and now in lap 21 he also pitted again, so he did 2 pit stops. Which is quite interesting because lap 14 is a good lap number to pin.
Yeah, wasn't it? Was it Tom that started on the harder tyres? Hit onto the soft on lap 14.
I will check.
Yeah, I mean that is still very early if he only did 6 laps on the soft, but well, I seem to remember calling it out at the time that it was very early to pit to go onto the softs.
Well, he went from the softs to the softs. Did he?
Oh, did he?
Yes, he did.
And now
So
he's
maybe a
gone to soft.
mistake. I did that in a race sim today. I accidentally went from soft to soft, which is not nice, and I had to do another stop. So maybe that's what happened to him. Need to ask him in an interview if he comes in the interview room later on. If not, then I guess it will be a mystery for the ages.
Yeah, we'll never know.
Something happened. No, nothing happened. I'm looking at a replay from a long time ago. Nothing happened. Carry on.
Nice. Interesting at the front, Sven has actually dropped back out of the DRS zone of Quintiles. Now 1.3 seconds the gap.
P9, Witkowski. I'm sorry to interrupt you once again, but David John making a move on Witkowski, and he seems to have the inside and have overspeed, so this seems to be an easy move. Unless Witkowski breaks late enough, this time he chooses for safety and slots him back behind David Junt.
Yeah, that was very clean from David. Got the brake and spot on. Broke as late as he could, but didn't lock up at all. Witkowski, too far back to try and swing into turn 1, so yeah, very clean. Quite a big gap up to his crossfire teammate Matteo in front, so be very impressive if he can do that.
But look in which positions they are again, 8 and 9 right behind each other.
Yep,
So let's say,
Bahrain, it was P7 and 8, wasn't it?
And then the reverse grid number was 8. So if it's 9 now, and if they finish like this, could be another front row lockout for David Carter's team Crossfire. He's going to be very happy with that, if that's the case. But then again, could also be 6, so or 7. So let's see. It would not be great for them.
No. If that happens, maybe you need to question whether David's flipping a few donations in. If he gets lucky a second time in a row, but
yeah, maybe there's some random number generator fixing going on. But, no, I highly doubt that.
Yeah.
As I just want to say, Frank Hemming, 31.2 last lap compared to Cardoz behind him, 30.6. So he won 6/10 last lap. Let's see what happens this lap because they're quite close to each other. 30.6 for Hemming and another 30.6 for Cardoz. So now it's equal, but the gap is 1.2 seconds. So if Frank Hemming has another bad lap like he had last time, he's going to be in the arrest range, Cardoz, and could be a podium, first podium for Gallery 82.
Yeah, that would be very good for them. Interestingly, it was near the end of the stint last time where Cardoz was closing in, so maybe he's got slightly better tyre wear than Frank and just has a bit extra to be able to push at the end of the stint.
Paweł Andrzejowski just lagged out, and he's back, and George Whiteout is very lucky he didn't get launched into the air, but now probably going for a move. George Whitehouse on newer tires, no, decides for the better of it. But he tried to make a move on Andrzejowski for P14, and unfortunately Andrzejowski lagged out, and then luckily didn't land into White House, as there is a crash somewhere.
So maybe Nigel Marshall, who's got no front wing, pitting now.
What happened there then?
That's a little bit embarrassing for him, I think.
He did a David Coulthard.
He did, yeah.
Crashed into pit entry.
Yeah, that's not what you want. It's unfortunate. I mean, he was out of the points anyway, so it might not affect it too much. But obviously, yeah, that's not what you want to do. And he has actually retired from the race, so
Very unlucky. I mean, this out of all places to crash into a pit lane, I guess Turkey is one of the least worst ones.
that's true. I embarrassingly did it at Canada once. Just managed to lock up the rears a bit and hit a lamppost.
Lamppost?
Well, the light pole, I guess, at the front of the pit lane. So
No,
not what you want. So
that's
it
embarrassing.
happens.
I mean, I crashed out of the pit exit of Canada. I remember I was starting from the pit lane. Menno Klont was my teammate, who's currently in P11. And I had a penalty back to grid, and I decided, to avoid the carnage, I'm starting from the pit lane.
Yeah.
I just go straight out, because obviously Canada pit lane is very, it goes through turn 1 and 2, so you can get an advantage. I just went straight up, and I just crashed into my teammate. At the first thing I come on the track. Just boom.
No.
And that was the end of the race for me. A nice little grid drop for the next race. And that was that.
Yeah, I suppose that's a little bit more embarrassing to just crash into your teammate from it. I guess I didn't affect anyone with my one. So.
That's very true. It was not only my teammate, it was like 3 other guys. Very sorry if you were involved.
Probably why you got a penalty then, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there was already an accident happening up front, and I just powered onto it because I just drove into it like an idiot, but yeah. Not the smartest idea.
Getting back onto the race.
Yes. Oh yeah, race.
Yeah, there's a race happening. Cardass was actually able to get into DRS like that. He got DRS on front. It was just on the edge because he wasn't able to close in too much, but he's there, and I guess he'll be hoping to keep it for the final few laps and maybe make a push for a move onto the podium.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Frank doing 30 highs, and Cardass just picked up the pace immensely. He did a 30.2, 30.3, 30.4, 30.5, no effort. Oh, sorry. That's sorry. He did a 30.6 the last few laps. I'm just blinded today. Okay, don't blame me. But he's still way faster than Frank Hemming, who's doing 30.9. So winning 3 tenths per lap, 2 tenths per lap on average. It's gonna be interesting to see if he can keep this up and then make a move, because there's only 3 laps to go in this first race of Supercup.
Yeah, looks like maybe Frank had a very good sector 1 there, because he did gain gap there. So I don't know if Cardass will have DRS this lap. No, nope. He doesn't. So clearly those two are both very evenly matched on times, and it's just a little bit of to and fro in between them, but Cardass not quite close enough. I mean, both for him, a P4 for Gauder 82 and only a second round would still be very good, but any racing driver, if they've got a chance of a podium, they're going to want to go for it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think Cardass is smart enough. If he knows, okay, P4, he's probably gonna gladly accept this result, because it's a very good result. New team in GPVWC, double points finish last time, now almost a podium. Who knows what's possible in race 2? Because obviously you're gonna have a good starting position regardless of what the random number is. Worst case scenario, you're 6th, which is still good. Because you're supposedly faster than all drivers that start ahead of you. Because there's no outliers here. I think everyone who will start in front of him after the reverse grid numbers decided will not have the same pace as him.
Yeah, and interestingly, a little bit further back, so Mateo Kia's makers, he's still right on the back of Ivan Leonov for P7, and them two seem quite evenly matched as well. David Yunt behind has been closing in very quickly on those two. I said it would be impressive if he can catch them, and he might actually do that. Maybe not enough time for him to make any moves, but it shows he's got the pace, and if he does end up getting lucky with the reverse grid, then could be a very good sign for the race too.
I know who's going to make a move, probably this lap. Tom Vandervoort really close on Menno Klont's tail. On all tires, Menno Klont is going to have a hard time defending here, and he messes up turn 7 exit as well, it seems like. So let's see what Tom van der Voort can do here. He's going to activate his DRS. The bump's not going to phase him, and going to go right into the toe of Menoclon, going around the outside because Menno's defending the inside. Breaks late. There's contact between the two. Little wheel bang, and Menno stays in front here. Only 2 more laps. No, 1 more lap. This final lap
Yep.
as they're about to go in. Yep. So
I've got a good exit there for the head, and but seems your prediction of them two fighting hard is coming true. There's been a lot of contact, but Tom now makes the move down into turn 1. Very nice.
Menno can't defend. There's a lot of top speed though. It's very fast here. Maybe he can try a move, but no. Too optimistic, unfortunately.
That would be a very optimistic move there. That's not a place where you normally go for it. Philip Koenig, interestingly, was pit.
What?
He was P16 anyway, but
what? Does he have a drive-through penalty?
Oh, he must have. I'd be surprised if he decides to do that with
his
his own.
He has a drive-through penalty. Okay.
Wow.
Very interesting to see how he got that one.
Yeah, he drops back 3 positions because of it. So not great for him, but like I say, no points, but that won't help him for race 2.
I assume he cut the course. Turn A, if you go wide there, you get a warning cut track.
Could
I
be
guess he did it like 3
the
times.
front Quintai just crossed the line, and he used race 1 at Istanbul. Sandy Reese come P2, Frank Hamming P3. Demi Cardas, he dropped back quite a bit. The last lap's there, P4. Leon Bock closed in on him quite a bit, P5. Gomez P6. Ivan Leonov P7, just hold off Turkish makers David Yunt P9 and Witkowski P10.
It's very interesting to see Menno drive right now. He lost in that last lap 2.5 seconds to Tom van der Voort. He was literally wrestling his own car because his tires were just gone to the coil, because that was just really weird to see. Every corner he full locked to get around it. But he got P12, probably going to be decently happy with that. Going to start P12 in race 2 as well. Quinte winning this race, to be fair, just absolutely dominating. Had some issues with, not with back markers, but people who didn't pit yet. Allowed Sven to get back into DRS. And even then he managed to pull away quite easily, doing some nice donuts here. Well deserved. But save that engine because you need to go into race 2.
Yeah, I'd say that's very well deserved for Quintai. Like I say, he was dominant in his first stint. Like I say, had a few issues with in the pit window, but he was still able to keep the lead and pull away, make a nice gap again. So yeah, it was a very good pace.
That just shows his pace.
Exactly, but it'll be interesting to see if he can make his way through traffic for race 2, because obviously he's going to be starting near the back or further back. So be interested to see if he can carry that pace through while he's battling.
That's the main reason I'm always excited for those race 2s. We're going to see people out of position. We're going to see Quinte, De Vries, Hemming, Cardas all not in the top positions. They're all going to be in between P6 and P10. So going to be interesting to see how they fight their way through and on what tire, because obviously free choice. You can start on whatever tire you want in race 2. Can the soft last 19 laps? We've seen people do 15, I think. That's the limit.
I think it's going to be. I guess, similar to Bahrain. It's not really going to be the best strategy for most. Maybe see if Opportuni. Obviously, he didn't have a great race 1, but he's normally good on tyres, and maybe he could try it again. Maybe Quintai, if he's got the pace advantage, maybe he could try the softs and try and just restrain himself a bit on them. But I think overall the harder tyres might be the better one. Just it means you can push a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, some people had trouble getting that hard at all to work in the race, and make it last to the end as well. And that was 15 laps of its own, or let's say 16 laps. And now you need to do 19 laps. I'm gonna be very impressed if people are gonna do it on the soft tire. But it's not impossible. We've seen it in the last few races that Pescara chose to go for the soft tire in race 2. with mixed results. At one point, they were kind of fast, but at the same time, probably could have done better if they just went to the hard. But I always love seeing alternate strategies, so it's going to be very interesting to see what they do. Anyways, we are done with race 1. We're going to head right into race 2 in a couple of minutes, so don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Supercup race here in Istanbul. The reverse grid number has been decided, and it is number 8, which means Matteo Keersmakers is on pole. Fortunately, it doesn't mean a 1-2 for Crossfire once again, but I'm still sure that Crossfire is happy that it's not 7 or 6, which would put them in way worse positions. But cars are coming onto the grid right now, and we're up for a cracking race too, I'm sure.
Yeah, should be interesting. David Giant maybe a little bit frustrated by that. He seemed to have great pace at the end of the race, so it would have been interesting to see him on pole, or at least at the front. But maybe he can follow people like Sven and Quinte through the grid as well. But yeah, it should be interesting to see what they can do as well.
I just had a mini heart attack because I saw Sven on the soft tire, but it's not the case actually, luckily.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the game just doing its thing and not quite
Yeah.
knowing what to do. But I guess we'll run through the grid. So, yep, Matteo Keersmakers on pole with that reverse grid. Yeah, they're not so great Bahrain race too after starting on the front row, but hopefully he'll be looking to do a little bit better this time. I've been off P2. Clearly did well after his grid drop for this race, and he'll be looking to get some good points to satellite. Pedro Gomez P3 did really well in race 1, and yeah, see if he can make some moves. Leon Bock P4. Damon Cardas P5 for Gallery 82. Great race 1 from him. See if he's got the pace. He seemed to have the tyre wear, so yeah, see if he can make some moves. Frank Hamming P6. Sven de Vries obviously P7. He is still showing softs for me, so
Oh.
I don't know if that is a
No, it's not.
that very interesting from him. Sven's not normally the kind of guy to go for a risky strategy like that, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do if he can keep them tyres going, or if he pits. Yeah, Alessandro Quintai P8. Obviously very dominant from him race 1, so he'll be looking to get through the grid very quickly. David Jump P9, the other Crossfire. Bit unfortunate for him not to get the reverse grid luck, but he's looking very quick. Patrick Witkowski P10, good stand-in performance for him at Multiforce. I'm sure he'll be looking to get some more solid points to them. Tom van der Voort P11, also on the soft tyres. Menno Klomp P12, Michael Galka P13, Pavel Andrzejewski P14, also on softs. George Whitehouse P15, Lorenzo Tekutas P16, Giannis Wallborn P17, Philip Koenig P18, and Willis P19, Mark Phillip P20, and then you've got Opportuni P21. You'll be looking for a much better race too. Kasper Mitrak P22, Mihail Vicentievich P23, Milan Rajkovic P24, Alexander Ugosa P25 is an unfortunate race 1 for him, but hopefully he can keep his tyres going this time and get a better result. Bastian Pies the P26 after an unfortunate disconnect, but he'll be looking to fight through the grid. And Liam Rance P27 and Mateusz Dabrowski round out the grid P28, so on the soft tyres.
Yeah, last time the lights went on really fast. I didn't even have time to finish my sentence. No, well, same thing. Lights are going on. 4 lights on, 5 lights on. And we're on the way for the second race here of Super Cup. Ivan Leonov has a good start, and he's a way better start than Matteo Keersmakers going around the outside. And
It's contact behind. It's like Pedro Gomez getting bounced around a little bit there.
oh, Witkowski crashes. Big crash in the middle.
Oh, massive crash now. There's a lot of cars involved there.
No, Witkowski lost control.
Top 9, 10, 11 maybe seem to have got through that quite cleanly, but yeah, been a big crash behind. There's going to be a lot of cars out and with lots of damage. But yeah, at the front, Ivan Leonov had a great start. He's pulled a big gap. It is showing slots for him actually. I don't know if we missed that or if that's again the game showing it wrong, but
yeah,
he's on softs too. Yeah.
What happened at the start there was slight contact, wheel banging between Tom van der Voort and Witkowski. And unfortunately for Witkowski, he spun around because of that. Had a little snap oversteer, couldn't control it, and then a lot of people just crashed into the back. A lot of people have damaged cars. Menno Klomp just strolling back to the pits. And it's just very unfortunate. A lot of people have damage with Kowski. Didn't lose any car parts. And he's now making a move on someone. So let's see if he can fight his way back through the field, but he surely has some kind of damage.
Yeah, Quintana and Frank Hammond were, well, Quintana was all over the back of Frank the entire final sector there. He steals side by side, going down the main straight. Frank seemingly much better straight line speed though. He can hold it off going into turn 1. Sven de Vries is already up to P4 on those soft tyres, so clearly working very well for him. It'll be,
Oh,
maybe...
Leonov. Leonov lagging out.
He's lagged out. Oh no, he's dropped back lots of positions.
I was just about to talk to him. Oh, not to him, about him. I was...
That's Kurtz again, Liam. It's...
Oh, Eddie?
well, he's left the race.
Oh no. I was just about to say, he's pulled a massive gap in just one lap, 1.5 seconds.
Yeah.
And his internet disconnects. That's number 2 where that happens to, and he's out. That promotes Keersmakers to P1 again. Liam Buck to P2, Sven de Vries to P3, but he's all over the back of Liam Buck. Could overtake him here. Don't think we've seen a move in this bar yet, but after turn 8, he gets the move done.
Be interesting to see. Sven is seemingly pushing quite fast, or at least he's going very fast, so maybe he is going for the one-stop strategy. It doesn't normally work in these race 2s, just how they work with being shorter, but maybe he's going to try it. He's definitely going very fast now. He's almost on the back of Keersmakers already.
I mean, I can't imagine him going to the end with this, because no one did this. I mean, obviously it's not optimal to do it in race 1, but everyone struggled to keep them alive for 14 laps. So why could he suddenly do 19 laps? I mean, he's a good driver, but he's pushing really hard. Look at him throwing his steering wheel across turn 1. So I think I'm pretty confident he's going for a 2-stop here. It's going to be so interesting to see what pace he's going to run after he probably inevitably passes Keersmakers, because Keersmakers has to check his tires out and go to the end on these. And
yeah, like I say, with how much Sven is pushing, yeah, he definitely seems to be going. He's going for a move there at turn 7. Wow, that's a very nice move. That's not a normal overtaker spot. But very nice. He'll be hoping to clear off before the DRS.
Yeah, that was going to be hard though. Turn 8, he needs to go really fast to get out of the DRS, because this is only one more turn after this before the DRS activation point.
Gap just in one corner there, but yeah, he's still going to be in the DRS range. But Sven, maybe with the extra grip, can hold off any moves he might do. But yeah, Sven, with how much he's pushing, he was burning up his tyres just there, so clearly going for that one stop, and he's going to have to pull out a big gap to try and make it work. Behind, they're all kind of slotting into a DRS train, no moves happening yet. David Yunt, deal P9, maybe he'll be looking to close up to that train in front.
It's going to be such nice. Oh, there's a crash. Witkowski again. It's crashed out.
Heisler, Witkowski. Yeah, not very good. Pines has somehow got no damage from that, so he's carrying on, and yeah.
Well, he's definitely got damage. His steering wheel is diagonal.
Oh well, yeah. No wings lost, but yeah, that's not great.
Some positive news. Even Leonov back into the race, 2 laps down, coming out of the pits right now, and he's going to try to salvage whatever is there to be salvaged.
Yeah, it's good to see him back. Yeah, it's going to be very, very tricky, obviously. He's pulling over again, so maybe realising that it's too big of a task there. Yeah, he's tired again. So,
yeah.
Yeah, 2 laps down, I mean, yeah, it's very difficult to even get points from that. So, but
unfortunate for him. Deserves better.
Yeah, he was looking good. If he was on the same strategy as Sven, as it seemed to be, he was pulling away at the front. It could have been a very good race for him.
Probably would have been in a battle with Sven right now. For the lead, probably would have. Was he on the softs? I think
yes,
even
he was
on the softs, yeah. And Matteo Keersmakers get passed by Leon Buck here. They should be on the same strategy. So that's a nice move there. Not really defending Keersmakers, but that's why he probably is also so high up in the championship, taking, he missed round 1, so that doesn't help. But he got some, I think he got some pretty good results in Bahrain.
Yeah, he got a good race 1. Obviously, I think it was P7. for him in race 1. It was either 7 or 8. Race 2 wasn't so great for Kios Makers, but
he has some good pace in there, and he was
he
high
did.
up, really
Yeah.
high up. Started on pole or second. I can't remember which one of the two.
No, but yeah, and I think it's quite smart at this stage to not necessarily defend
Too
both
hard.
that you've got. Yeah, it's worth it just to keep within the DRS and keep within the train and yeah, see what you can do later on in the race.
Definitely true. Leonov just officially retired. Shame for him. Witkowski has had a disastrous race 2, but a really good race 1. I'm sure he has a lot to be proud of this race, but well, race 2 not going his way. He's currently in the pits, preparing a lot of damages, and he's already almost a lap down. Unlucky for him
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, he had a great race 1. Like I say, he did the Academy race last week and good race 1, but maybe he got caught up in those incidents at the start, and I think Menno Quant as well, he must have got caught up as well. He's P21. Again, good race 1 from him, but unlucky race 2. There
Ooh, a
are-
nice fight going on for P12. George Whitehouse just went past Lorenzo de Cutis and made that move stick. Cutis weaving, maybe in protest, maybe not happy with the move. Oh no, and he takes George Whitehouse out.
Yeah, he'll be even less happy with that one.
Oh, and he
wow,
takes
that's
Oh no.
oh no, that's not a great rejoin there. Opportunity involved in that. Obviously, he had a bad race 1, but he's still in the point. Yeah,
And Cutis doesn't even lose that much time. He's still first of this group. That is very unfortunate. He already had some penalty points from the last race. He had 2. Sorry, he had 4 even. So, you know, if he keeps doing moves like this, I'm sure this will get looked at by the stewards. And they won't be happy with that, because that is not a nice move.
no, that's yeah, it's been quite bad for the guys that he took out on the rejoin. So Opportunity somehow managed to hold on to it though, and he's still kind of on the back of him. So I'm sure Opportunity will be looking to make some moves and maybe gets a little bit of revenge on him, really, if he can make a move stick on him.
Oh, Damien Cardos doing a move on Pedro Gomez. He almost spins and they touch. But and there comes Frank Hemming. He takes 2 positions in one corner, taking advantage of this little fight. Cardos does have the inside now for turn 1. Pedro Gomez getting squeezed out, but they're still side by side going into turn 1 here. Wu will break later. Cardos, while they break about at even strength, well then it's going to Cardos because he has the inside line and takes the position, but doesn't gain a place because Frank Hemming came through and got 2 positions in 1 turn.
Yeah, that was a very nice move from Frank. Very opportunistic to see that they were putting each other offline and just slipped through, and he's already got a decent gap because of it. So he'll be looking to get on the back of Chaos Makers and maybe get another podium.
Oh, Odrzejowski just crashed
Oh.
massively. That's
Wow.
Dennis Walborn as well involved. Oh, what happened there?
Is that a bit of lag again, potentially? Oh, yes, it is.
Yes.
And Strzelski just lagged backwards, and this is what we were saying, we got a bit lucky in race 1 that some lags didn't cause an incident, but it did this time, and yeah, send them both flying. That's not what you want to see. Janus Walborn will likely have a bit of suspension damage from that, but apart from that, should be right.
Yeah, Walborn has suspension damage. Didn't lose too much places, but surely he's still not going to be happy. But it could have ended so much worse. He does have, seems like small suspension damage. Andrzejowski retired immediately, maybe not wanting to endanger more drivers, as there is a move going on. Kasper Michalek for P11 on Lorenzo de Cutis going around the outside, both breaking late, and Kasper Michalek choosing better of it. Opportunity also lurking in the back, as there is a crash. Pedro Gomez and Quinte went off in front.
He's lost his front wing.
A
Not
lot
good
happened. What happened there? I'm looking at the replay right now.
It's like Quinte went for an opportunistic move at the final corner and just, he got unlucky to lose his front wing there. It's just on the rejoin, just rolled very slowly into the multi-force car, but that was enough to lose it, and that's not good for him. He's losing a lot of positions now because of it.
So is Pedro Gomez. Unfortunate, probably a racing incident, but there's still moves like that that makes it, even though Quinte may have the best pace overall in the first 3 race weekends rather, it's Sven de Vries that is leading the championship. He's always consistently there. He's always on the podium, and he doesn't do any crazy risks. He just gets those points, and that's how he is currently in P1 of the championship. While Quinte is gonna have a hard time scoring points once again. There's 12 laps to go here, and he has no front wing on P13.
Yeah, although you say Sven, yeah, normally in the races he doesn't take risks, but he seems to have done a bit of a risk on strategy. He's pulled out a good gap to Leon Bock, almost 6 seconds there, but I think if he, I mean, he'll be looking to go, I guess, to lap 10 maybe, and then do 9 laps on the final stint, but
Yep.
at the moment that's going to drop him back right into the pack where you don't want to be, where all the battles are happening, and that's putting him in more danger, I guess, of getting a bit damaged and ending up like Quinte.
Yeah, he's 2 more laps until he probably either he's spinning next lap or he's spinning the lap after that. 9 or 10 would make sense. And he would come right back into P12 right now, which is a lot of cars to overtake because he's going for the win. We know Sven, I mean, he's always going for the win.
Yeah.
But he has then 11 cars to overtake. That is a lot.
Yeah, it'll be difficult for him to do. I mean, he'll have the fresh tyres and the soft tyres, but even for Sven, that might be a little bit too difficult. Especially at least for the win. He might get podium potentially, or at least good points, but for the win, could be difficult. Leon Bock is doing well. Pierce Makers is right on the back of him, and decent gap back to Frank Hamming, so it'll be tough for Sven, but if anyone can do it, Sven is one of the ones that you'd expect to make it work.
Yeah, for sure. The thing is also, the tires that Sven will have more pace advantage in the second stint, obviously, than he has right now, because everyone still has new mediums, and they will have old mediums when Sven pits for the first time and only time.
It's true, and Sven pits now, actually.
Oh,
so,
that's really early.
Well, lap 9, so 10 laps to the end, so...
Could he go on mediums? No way, right? This must be softs.
I think softs... I think if you went... Softs is still going to be difficult to get the win, but I think mediums will make it almost impossible, because he needs that pace advantage. Oh, he does go mediums, actually, so...
Oh.
Maybe I'm getting it wrong, or... I don't know.
Meanwhile, someone we didn't talk about yet. Mikko Kalka, P6.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's amazing.
He
Dennis
was,
Holborn is all over his tail, though, but...
Where was it he finished race 1, Mikko Kalka? Was it out the point?
I'm right back at you.
Quite remember. But, yeah, I mean, either way, it's great from him. And, I mean, Gary 82 got double points at race 2 at Bahrain. If they can get Kardashian, obviously he's P4. He'll be looking to close down on the podium like he did in race 1. Galka P6, if he can hold on to that, it'll be great points to Gary 82.
I just flipped into the archives, and Galka finished P13.
Right, so still some points, but 13th, just 6th already. That's great. Sven de Vries, he's come out of the pits in P12. He has got a good gap, but like I said,
Frank Hamming. Sorry, P2. Frank Hamming made a move on Matthias Makers. Now on the way to Liam Bach. Nice clean move there, and Dennis Holborn also move up Galka back. A lot happening. And nice clean moves all being done around over the place, and 2 position changes at the top.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened with Matteo there. He's had 2 laps in a row of quite a bit off the pace compared to the guys around him and compared to what he was doing before. So, don't know whether he's made a few mistakes or maybe his tyres already. I mean, that would be quite bad management if his tyres already going off, but could be. But yeah, as I was saying with Sven as well, P12. And he's going to be held up by this group in front of him. He's already been held up by Whitehouse, who, as I say that, makes a mistake to let Sven through. So maybe not quite as held up as he would have been. But yeah, it's going to be difficult for him to get through this pack, and then still have to push on to get the pace advantage. Those guys in front, get onto the back of them.
He would need to win, let me calculate this quickly, about more than 1.5 seconds per lap on Liam Bach Okay.
Yeah.
And he needs to do that while overtaking 10 cars. And
Yeah.
now this is one. Nopacini is a victim to Sven de Vries. He's still there. Nope, he's not.
Made it stick. There we go. Now only 9 cars.
9 cars to go, but still 1.5 seconds per lap.
Yeah, that's going to be very tricky.
And he needs to be careful that Nopacini is not coming back right at him right now. Nope, he's not.
I think even with just the gap, 1.5 seconds a lap, on the same tyres, I mean fresher tyres, but
Oh,
still.
Sven de Vries. Oh wow, he just got hit on the back by Michalak. No, that's not Michalak, that's Cutis.
Judas, yeah.
And he's fast now.
Yeah, but I think, yeah, even without having to pass cars, 1.5 seconds when you're in the same compound as the guys around you, on its own is difficult. As yeah, it's a bit of a close between opportunity and shooters there, but yeah, on its own is difficult. But especially when you're having to get through cars like this who are battling hard because they're wanting to, you know, get the best result for their own race. It's going to be difficult for Sven. It'll be impressive if he can do it. Like we're saying, maybe he's the kind of guy that can do it.
Will be amazing. At the front we have, oh, as I say that, Leon Buck making a small mistake and exit of turn 8 allows Frank Hemming to get all more closer. As he does ruin turn 9 a tiny bit, but point was Frank Hemming getting quite close to Leon Buck. And Leon Buck again, P1 up there. He is very consistent from what we've seen in the first 3 races. He's up there in the championship standings because of it. And maybe he can win this race. He's looking like the favorite right now, but Frank Hemming is breathing down his neck. And Gearsmakers and Cardos are not too far back either.
Yeah, I mean, this is great from Cardos, I'd say. He's closed in. Gearsmakers, he must be having some kind of issue because he's still, well, he's a little bit better that lap, but he's still not necessarily on the pace that he would want to be doing. This is allowing Cardos at front, and maybe if, I mean, Gearsmakers already has lost the DRS, so yeah, it's interesting to see if Cardos can get.
Pits.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
wait.
He started on the medium.
Whoa, what happened? Josh Whitehouse stopping in the pits. Did his engine fill?
Yeah.
Is it?
Or is he out of fuel? Maybe.
What? Wait, let's see if his car launches up again.
Well, he was fine going into the pits, but yeah, it's not going. That's very strange.
Did he run out of fuel? He's in his pit box.
Yeah, it should have refueled him.
Does it? I'm not sure if it does. That was a very weird moment. And seems to be George Ryder's out of the race. He's not moving. That's him done.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Because, yeah, he accelerated just fine into the pit lane. It was just once he was in the pit lane that he had issues. So, yeah, it's a little bit strange to me. But,
very weird.
Anyway, at the front, like I said, Gearsmakers, he's out with the DRS. Got out Cardos right onto the back of him. Maybe too far back. Just this lap, yeah. But Cardos just seems to have the pace advantage at the moment over Gearsmakers. It'll be tough for him to hold on to that.
Cardos seems to be the fastest out of the entire top 4 because he's easily catching up to Gearsmakers, and Gearsmakers was catching up to Frank Hemming and Leon Buck this last lap as well, a tiny bit, like about 110. So fastest out of this group, seems like.
Yeah, but Sven de Vries, last lap he had set a new fastest lap of the race, so clearly he was definitely pushing on his harder tyres, but
it's 1 second a lap, it's not enough. He might go for P6 here, which is still good after being P2 race 1, but it's probably not what he could have gotten if he just went on the onto the same strategy as everyone else. But who knows, maybe the mediums are dropping off at the end and Sven's gonna suddenly find even more pace. But there's only 5 laps to go. 6, sorry, so it's not much. He needs to win 2 seconds a lap at this rate, and I don't see that happening.
No, it's going to be very difficult. Yeah, perhaps would have been better for a result. He'd either gone onto the same strategy as them, or if he had gone all in and gone onto a soft for the second stint as well.
Yep.
Because if he can make him last 9 laps, he should quite easily be able to make him last 10. But
mistake. Lorenzo Cutis going wide in turn 8, and this allows Pedro Gomez a nice look on the inside here. Oh, doing a little weaving move. Lorenzo Cutis, be careful, mate. You've already had 2 incidents. You don't want more than that. And now Pedro Gomez will have the DRS. This Oh, it's a very close battle. He already has more top speed. Careful for the bump. And that's what I mean. He pushes Pedro Gomez off the track. Can he go back now? Oh, very dirty driving right here happening. Pedro Gomez going around the outside. No contact, boys. No, Pedro Gomez choosing safety safety first here. And he's probably going to try again the next lap. It's all started by Kudis making a mistake coming out of turn 8. If you go a little too far over the curbs, then your car is just, gonna drift off, and you're gonna lose a lot of time. And that's what happened to him, and that allowed Pedro Gomez a nice look, and that bump caught him out. I think it caught Kudis out there.
Yeah, it looked like Takitis maybe went over the bump, just got pushed a little bit wide because of it, and Gomez was the one that lost out by being forced off the track. But yeah, it's quite aggressive. Don't know, maybe. I don't know if it's maybe anything to protest, but like say Lorenzo, he's already had a few incidents this race, so he should be looking to bring it home cleanly. But
Yep.
yeah, we'll see what happens the rest of the race.
Oh wait, what happened to Cardos? Cardos lost a lot of time, did he?
And
A lot of time.
And Galka has lost some positions down to P8. Sven's got through.
Yeah, David Judd now looking at the back of Damien Cardos. Is he gonna break later? No, he's not. What happened to Cardos? That's really weird. I'm just looking at the replay right now. Oh, he spinned off in turn 8.
Oh no.
He kept it out of the wall somehow and rejoined in the same position, but he lost 4 seconds there. And that's suboptimal.
No, that's not. Maybe he was pushing a bit too hard to try and get the first podium for Galera 82. But, I mean, yeah, he kept onto his position. It wouldn't have done his tyres any good. So David Young should be in a better position and will be able to put the pressure on. But
yeah, good point.
I mean, very lucky. I mean, yeah, the spin out of turn 8. It's very lucky not only to not hit the wall, but to come out in the same position. Yeah, that's quite good for him. So maybe could allow Sven finish in a higher position, because now he's not too far off these guys, Jonas Woolborn, David Young, and Damon Cardas.
Yeah, he's still driving at 1 second a lap faster pace than the guys in front of him. It's not going to be enough for the win unless something crazy happens. Talking about the win, Frank Hemming still close to Buck, but not close enough, I don't think. He's looking down. Well, maybe actually he can do a move here. It's coming real close. He's looking down the inside. Doesn't brake late enough to do a move just yet. Maybe the next lap.
Well, Frank will. It's only got 3 laps left to do it now, so he's gonna need to make it soon. But yeah, probably smarter than not to go for a super move there, because I mean he's pretty safe at P2 at the moment. Kiers Makers is a couple of seconds back, so maybe just taking it a bit safe and maybe settling in for a P2. But Kiers Makers on his himself is pretty safe at P3 with that spin from Cardas, so he shouldn't have too much of a pressure from behind. And Cardas actually seems to be pulling away from David Young, so maybe that spin not doing his tyres as much damage as I thought.
What I've got my eyes on right now. First of all, Jonas Woolborn, after being lagged into, he's done a very good recovery, but now he's in a big group of people. He's attacking David Junt, but he's also being attacked by Sven de Vries right behind him. So this is going to be a very interesting battle to look forward to. I think we're going to see a move not long from now.
Yeah, I think, I mean, Sven through there, turn 8. He's definitely just through that one corner. I think these two, they need to be careful that they don't let Sven through too easily just by being a bit too greedy and go for a move. But
this could be a double pass.
Could
like
be
Frank Hemming did it.
Yeah. And playing it safe there, not opening the DRS over the bump. Jonas Woolborn has gone through on David Young.
My. David John's letting them by. And Sven de Vries now on the inside of Jonas Woolborn. Sven breaks later and gets that position. That's P5. And now Sven has 2 laps to find the pace to get to Cardos and get in front of him.
Yeah, behind them, Mitch Lack as well. He got through on Galka down the straight. Quite a clean move seemingly from them. Yeah, I think that was quite smart from David Young to just let them through, let them do their own thing. It was not worth it for him to really keep his nose in there because chance to crash, and then could have potentially allowed Janus Albon to go offline and David to get a nice kind of move on him, but that didn't happen. But still, quite smart from him there.
One of the unsung heroes of this race is Kasper Michalak. I don't even know where he started, but he didn't start in the top 20. He did not finish in the top 20 in race 1. And
no, he started P22 on the grid.
P22 and 2 P8. That's a great drive. If he can keep this up, he's going to be very proud of this result, because that's an amazing comeback drive.
Definitely. Clearly kept his nose clean in those instances at the start of the race, and yeah, just got on with it. And
Frank Hemming is now really pushing to get in front of Liam Bach. He's again on the DRS rate. He had a massive moment coming out of turn 9. Can he now make a move? There's 2 laps to go, so this is probably his 1 to lost overtaking opportunity, and he's not going for it just yet. So probably, unless you want to do it in one of the other turns, which is definitely possible, as we've seen, but it's just easier to do it on the DRS rate. Now he needs to stick close to him, and then get that close to him in the DRS zone and overtake him there is his most likely bet.
Yeah, while that was happening, there was a big fight P6. David Janus has now got through on Janus Albon, who Janus, he made a mistake out of turn 8, run wide, allowed David through, and I don't know what quite happened on the DRS detection because of it, because neither of them used it down the back straight, but David managed to make the move stick, and he's now in front. He'll be looking to defend now and get that P6. Sven has just pulled away from them because of all this. 5 seconds on that lap he's got, and he's right on the back of Cardas now.
Yeah, 2 very exciting battles. Cardas versus De Vries and Frank Hemming versus Leon Bach. Seems like Leon Bach found some momentum and got away from Frank Hemming, but the DRS zone is so deadly. So let's see what Frank Hemming can do here. If nothing, then Leon Bach will win the Grand Prix, the second race of Istanbul Park here. Frank Hemming really pushing, but he's too far away, surely. Sven De Vries now side by side with Cardas. Oh, they touch each other. Cardas braked really hard, and this gives him a little bit of space. Maybe this was his plan, but now the DRS comes. He's surely going to defend to the inside. Sven opening DRS over the bump this time. Cardas definitely defending the inside. Sven wants the inside, but it's not getting it. Now it's, they touch each other. And Cardas doesn't spin. He's still in front, though. Big fighting going on, and now Sven De Vries has the momentum to go around the outside and has the inside for the next turn now. Can Cardas keep up? He's trying to go for the switchback. Can he make it, actually? No, he doesn't have the traction on these tires. Leon Bach wins the second race of Istanbul Park here. Sorry, was so into that battle there as Frank Hemming crosses P2 on a second. Keersmakers P3, great podium again by Crossfire. Sven De Vries on that great. I like seeing that strategy. Sven De Vries P4, Cardas P5. P5 and P4 must be really happy. Gelly Ready 2 getting a lot of points. In his wallborn after getting lagged into on P6. David Junt's Mystical System P7. Mikko Galka, more points for Gelly 82. Great drive by him. Best race of the year, if I'm correct. P8. Kasper Michalak from P22. He lost the position in the end to Galka.
Yes, so on the final lap, Michalak and Opportunity, they got together at the penultimate corner, both spinning round. Got quite lucky that both of them only lost 1 position. But yeah, bit unfortunate there, but it allowed Galka through Gallery 82.
Okay, interesting. That makes Opportunity P10 then. So a lot of stuff happening in the final lap there. Too much to follow for me. How about that? That was some great racing right there.
It was. Yeah, I suppose the main thing is then trying that alternate strategy. Maybe not really working for him. He's got the pace that if he was on the strategy, maybe he could have got a little bit higher up, maybe onto the podium, but made it work, and still P4 as a great result. And he's got he had an 8-point gap in the standings going into this round. Frank P2, maybe it's a little bit closer, but it's still a good result for him. And I guess obviously Leon Bach as well, winning the race. Is that his first race win in Supercup? I believe he got P2 at Bahrain, didn't he?
If I'm correct, I think that is his first win. Need to fact check that though.
Yeah, but I mean, great from Leon Bach. He, see Sven got through at the start, but that's because he's on an alternate strategy, and Leon just, just controlled it from there. Just holding off from Frank at the end there and getting the P1.
Yeah, really good job. Frank was really breathing down his neck hard and didn't flinch and got this win. Mathieu Makers didn't have the pace of the winners of race two, but he was close, and he was always about Cardals. Unfortunately for him, made that little mistake, cost him one position likely. Not too bad. Could have been worse if you spin in turn eight. Ask Vettel. Could be way worse than just losing one position. Um, so yeah, really good driving by a lot of people here. Unfortunately, there were some incidents, especially lap one, turn one, caught some people out. But Quinte also got caught out in those early incidents with Pedro Gomez. And he's
Uh,
P13 right now. He made that nice comeback drive. So this is what you get for not giving up. You get some nice solid points still.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's yeah, it shows that. I mean, in race one, obviously you shouldn't give up because they've got a chance of starting up higher in the grid for race two, and yeah, in any racing, if you can just keep it on the track, then you know, you've always got a chance. If you retire when you don't necessarily need to, then you're just wasting an opportunity unnecessarily, really. Um,
That is definitely true. We're about to head into the interviews here. As let's talk first with Ivan Leonov was leading the race in the first lap, and then unfortunately, what looks to be an internet disconnection. Ivan, you were looking very fast today. Got a good result in race one. We're looking for a very good result in race two, leading the race. What happened?
Good evening, boys. Everything bad. My work again. Internet down in race two. Pace was here. I was trying to do race with only with two stops. It will be really interesting because I needed to overtake a lot of guys. I tried to push in first laps and pace was fine, but just connection lost and everything done. In race one was really interesting race. Yeah, everything was fine. Fighting with a lot of guys. Respect for them. Mm, this penalty was the problem for me because from P13 was really hard, and yeah, I managed to finish to P7. But yeah, my bad work again.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. So you were on the same strategy as Van der Vries then, and he did really well in the end. But do you think it was the best strategy, or do you think just going for the hearts and driving straight to the end would have been the better solution?
For me, was impossible to do full race 19 laps with hard tires because I was smoking too much tires. I can't manage these mediums. Don't know why, but yeah, I have more problems with these tires again, like previous race. Yeah, boys.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, thank you for the interview. Unfortunately, but you still got a good result in race one. Hopefully, we'll see you get back stronger in Zandvoort.
Yeah, I hope. Thank you.
All right. So let's get our happy guy in, Leon Bach. First race win, if I'm correct for him. Hello there, Leon. Great job. How are you feeling after that amazing win?
Yeah. Hi guys. Yeah, I'm really happy about the win today. Obviously, my qualifying wasn't that good actually, but then I managed to get the positions in the first race again, so that gave me a good position for the sprint race. Yeah, in the sprint race, I tried to push as hard, but not kill the tires too much, so that can I have an advantage in the end of the race against Hemming, and yeah, that worked out for me quite well. So I'm really happy.
Were you ever afraid of Frank? He was really breathing down your neck, and it looked to be quite close, but he never really made a real. So were you ever afraid, or did you think he was going to make a move, or did you have it all under control?
Yeah, when he was close in the DRS range first, then I thought, okay, he's gonna get me in like 3 or 4 laps. But then he dropped quite off with the pace, and I managed to keep him behind me. I think only was close once, but then I had the better tires in the end, and I could get away with the win.
All right, congratulations. Really good drive. You're now really high up in the standings. So hopefully we'll see you up there in the championship fight as well. It's looking very likely now.
Yeah, I hope so too.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
All right, let's get Matteo Keersmakers in. Interested to see if he's happy with his result. Hello, Matteo.
Hello.
So that's a podium in P in race 2 and a top 10 in race 1. Do you think you could have done better, or is this just the maximum result?
I think in race 2 was a pretty good result. So actually, in race 1, I could have done a little bit better because I was held off by someone who was on the old medium tires, I think. But race 2 actually was pretty fine. The tire wear was on its limit, so at the end I was just bringing it home.
Awesome. And obviously with David Jones, your teammate, who also scored some really solid points again, as he usually does. You're looking really good as Crossfire in the championship. So are you looking towards that constructors championship as well?
I think that's more for David.
Well, David, answer then.
Realistically, no. I mean, if for us to win the championship, we need others to falter. I don't think we've got quite that pace to race with the front guys. But like tonight, as long as we keep getting the 4 results in the top 10 every time, I'm happy. And it was frustrating tonight at times for both guys. We was lacking a little bit in the setup, but Matteo did a great job from pole, and that's something we've always had a bit of a knack with, is that sort of race 2 results, just getting those solid points in race 2 and getting podiums as well. So, like Matteo's achieved tonight. So congratulations to him. He's worked bloody hard since the start of pre-season. So, I'm glad to see that Matteo's come in and finally been rewarded for his hard work as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's really nice to see that hard work being paid off. All right, thank you guys, and as well to you. Good luck for the next race in Zandvoort.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, seems like our final interviewee, Sven de Vries. Really curious about his strategy, Sven. P4, but it seems like it was not the optimal strategy to go for that pit stop. How are you feeling? Do you think it was the right choice in the end, or not?
It was the only choice I had. There was no way I was going to make it without a pit stop. Absolutely no way. I'm not much of a tire manager in this car apparently, and it was the only choice I had. So that it was a better result than I expected, to be honest, with the pit stop. So yeah, I guess pleased with how that went, and happy that Frank didn't win that race. So I think I'm still leading the championship. So this round wasn't the one that was going to suit my driving style well. I had to drive like a grandma to keep any life in the tires. So yeah, on to the next one.
But don't you think doing a double soft in the end in race 2 would have been better?
No, by like I think after 6 or 7 laps of pushing on the softs, I had 35% left, so I had to crawl for 2 laps to even make it to do a stint with the medium. So yeah, no, another soft stint wouldn't have worked for me. And for some reason, the medium tires suit my style better. Like I could go faster in the mediums than I did on the softs when there's fuel in the car.
Okay.
So yeah, it was the only choice I had.
All right. Well, it still worked out for you. P4 and P2. I think you scored at least one of the most points out of everyone, and you are already leading the championship. So you're looking very good for that championship. So best of luck for you in the next few races.
Thanks.
All right, and that were all the interviews. So, Josh, do you have anything to say for our lovely viewers?
Not really. I mean, it was it was a great event. A lot of good battles up and down, and it's quite interesting for the standings. Obviously, Frank doing quite well, so maybe it's a bit closer at the top there. And obviously, Leon with his first win. I fact checked it; it was his first win.
Okay, there we go.
Ever at GPVWC in itself. So yeah, it's hotting up for quite good championship fight, really. I know
To keep up
David
to date with the
Carter,
latest
he's obviously quite
GPVWC videos, click
conservative,
on
I
the
guess, with his target for Crossfire, but
Yeah, he's
they were
always.
they already had a good gap in the constructors going into this race, and it was a very solid result for them. So you've got to say they're looking quite strong for it if they could keep doing this. And yeah, I guess in the future, Quintai, he's obviously very quick, but maybe he needs to work a little bit on his racecraft or what he does during the races to just get that final piece to be able to go for the championship. Maybe. I mean, he's quite far down already, but he's got the pace to go for it if he puts the effort in.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think it's been his fault much, if at all. But in the end, it doesn't matter if it's your fault or not. You have no front wing, so maybe the next time, you just let someone by instead of maybe going for a risky move, because he definitely has the pace, as you said, and it's the kind of instance that he had today that cost him in the championship right now. And if he irons those out, he's going to be a real big championship contender.
Yeah, definitely.
So that is it from us today here. Thank you all for watching the stream with some great racing, and we'll be back in 2 weeks for Supercup again. But tomorrow we'll have Super League Lights, and the day after that we'll have Super League. So don't miss out on those. We'll be back around the same time. Thank you all for watching.
To keep up to date with the latest GPVWC videos, click on the subscribe button, or check out more of our exciting sim racing action by choosing a video. For more information on the league, visit gpvwc.com.